The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble. You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope everyone a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
All right, what's up?
Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
I'm hiding from ICE.
Looks like you got some right there in your cup.
Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength, the Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. And as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We do have a great show for you today. We're going to be talking to you all about the latest installment in the MCU. We're talking about Captain America, Brave New World. So we'll be giving you our take on that, and would love to hear yours as well. And we'll also be giving you a review of the new Marvel Comics event, the first book of that event, One World Under Doom. So we'll be talking about that, and of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. And we'll tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum and let us know what that would be in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope all is well with you, good sir. And with that said, let's go ahead and have the intern do the interning.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed. So yeah, go to fantasticforum.live. You could hit the call-in button and you would be the fifth member of Fantastic Forum, or you could always jump into chat and we will take your comment directly out of chat and bring it into the show. So let us know what it is you want to do, what you want to talk about, what it is you think about what we're saying, all that. Gentlemen, how are you all feeling this week? Y'all doing okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I shit out a camera earlier today.
That's intentional, I take it?
Yeah, because remember we talked about my colonoscopy last week?
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't reach all the way, so I had to swallow a camera and pass it through, and it was like taking pictures of my insides.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Did it hurt?
No, it's small. It's like the size of a pill. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm happy to hear it.
Wait,
I'm glad.
So do you just like flush it, or do they retrieve it?
I wanted to grab it, but I couldn't bring myself to grab it. But they said, you don't have to retrieve it. Like, you just flush it.
I know, but like we got Comic-Con in a few months, you know.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the way to smuggle it into Hall H.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
I mean, come on, you got dogs. You've handled stuff before.
Yeah, but it's just it was essentially a public toilet, and I was more skeeved out about that than it was clean, but
I want no parts of it. Who's gonna even use that camera?
Me.
Well, him obviously. He's
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna pretend like that's just okay, huh? Okay.
I'm just gonna be weirded out swallowing it again.
I mean, you could put it back in the other way.
Oh, Jesus.
I guess, it might be easier. Like, if the plan is to shoot with it, I shouldn't even swallow it.
Uh, in related related
Speaking
things
of shitting out cameras,
of disgust, right? Of sheer contempt. I saw friggin' uh the third Venom movie. I watched it on the plane, and yeah.
you watched that, but didn't watch. What was it that we wanted you to watch?
It was that.
No, it wasn't that. I don't want you to watch it. It was a female movie.
I don't know what that means. It's a female movie.
It's a movie that has powerful female characters that you wouldn't want to watch.
That doesn't sound like me.
It sounds like
It sounds like you. Yeah. Venom. What is it? The Last Dance? Is that what it's called?
yeah.
Listen. I can say that joint was better than the second one, but it's still really bad. I was just like, ugh. And man, I just remember you all talking about it when you all saw it and saying how like Null isn't really in it. And I was like, I watched this joint and I'm like, man, I think that they kind of undersold it. Like, I was like, no, like, no, like, Null's really not in. I was like, man, like they paid Andy Serkis to do that? Like, that's crazy. That guy
Andy
just,
Serkis robbed them.
look, it feels like it. And I'm just like, I don't even understand because I was just
Who
like,
was longer? Because I didn't watch the third Venom movie.
yeah,
But who was in it longer? The Red Hulk or no?
oh
Red
no,
Hulk.
definitely Red Hulk. Like,
Mrs. Chen was in it longer than No.
right.
Like she got like a whole like at least a song, so full lap dance.
What is this like I watched when I watched this movie and I saw that scene where they do like the dance, right? Like they're like
The
literally
Last Dance.
just a random dancing scene with Mrs. Chen and Venom. And I'm just like, when I'm watching this, I was just like, this is terrible. Like, this is the worst. But I'm like, these, like, somebody must be doing some kind of focus testing or something about, like, these numbers in these superhero movies, right? Like,
Well, I don't know how they
these random, like, dance numbers if people, like, don't like them, right?
I don't
Somebody
know
has
what
to, like,
they have to reshoot like Brave New World, but let that one go. Like,
Well, first of all, don't forget the Venom movies are Sony, so I don't think you can trust anything they do with these characters. You've seen their movies.
right, but I'm just saying that, like, across the board, though, like, if we talk about like the last superhero movies in, like, say, like the last 2 to 3 years, right? Probably like a solid 3-4 of them have like dance numbers in them, right?
yeah,
And
I
that's
think
a lot considering that we're only talking about like maybe like 8 or 9 movies, right?
I think that in the first movie when Venom's in the rave, I think a lot of people actually like that scene because it's such a weird visual of Venom, like at a rave, and people somebody up there is like, oh yeah, dude, they want to see Venom dance because it's weird. Let's just put that in there.
and the second one had a wedding, which is usually the first dance. But there was no. I don't know if there was dancing in that one.
I don't remember dancing, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there. I'm just saying, like, it's weird to me because I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, like I mean, you bring up Sony, and yeah, that's true. Like one of the most notorious random dancing is like Spider-Man 3, right? But I'm just like, I mean, whether we're talking about like Guardians, right, or
Yeah. I mean, they
like
fought. They fought Ronan the Accuser in a dance battle.
right, or like the random dancing in the Marvels. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like why do these happen? Like who was it that is like, no, like you got to put in a dance scene. So I don't know. Like it's weird to me. I feel like I know I'm missing some. Like I'm sure that there's like other ones in the last like year and a half too that I'm just not thinking about off the top of my head. But I'm just like
It all started with Footloose.
Footloose is the reason we get random dance scenes in movies.
Yep. That was the whole plot of the movie is we need a dance scene.
Right, but then you do the
hilarious.
montage when he's all angry and dances by himself.
That derived from Flashdance.
Like,
So
oh,
there
okay,
you
that's
could
the
see,
one. Yeah.
you could see the
Yeah.
connections. I've
That's
watched
what it
way
was.
too many of those movies.
I mean, it was the 80s. Or are you watching them lately?
Both. I would have been too young in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but yeah, like trust me, stuff comes on repeat in the 80s because we didn't have like 24-hour television cycles.
Or streaming services.
Yeah, it's just like stuff just be like, hey, it's Flashdance. So, yep. Hexzilla's in chat says it was acceptable in the 80s. Yes, it was. That's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, man, I'm definitely like I'm happy I didn't have to pay any money to watch the movie, but I'll never get back that time. So, let me tell you, man. At this point, I'm like, man, maybe I do need to watch that Ghost Rider joint because that Ghost Rider movie has to be better than that.
There's no dancing in it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Mhm.
Look, you know how
Wait,
bad
are
a
we
movie
talking-
has.
We're talking about Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider?
Yeah, the second one.
The second one. Yeah, I didn't see the second
Oh
one.
my god. Why are you on this show?
The second was actually the good one.
Well, that's what you keep saying, and like the first
can
one was
also
so
say
bad
it
that I'm
too.
just like, nah.
Jay, did you see the second? The
No,
second
I
Ghost
was
Rider?
waiting to go see it with Lawrence, but he flaked.
Like for
I
a
don't
whole year
I don't think I
afterwards,
flaked.
anytime
I'm pretty sure I told you I wasn't going from the beginning.
for a whole year afterwards, anytime anybody said
No,
anything
you
stupid
didn't.
to me, I'd just point and go, "You," and then just stand there for like 5 minutes.
You. I remember like Vaughn used to do that too. You. It's too funny, man. Damn it! What was I gonna say? Oh, damn it.
Something
I
dumb.
can't remember. yeah, just something dumb. No, there was something.
Hexzilla, you never seen Ghost Rider?
Well, I didn't see the second Ghost Rider. I saw the first one, and that's why I didn't watch the second one. Like that was back in the day when Ghost Rider, like that was the standard for me for what bad modern comic book movies were. And it's like, oh,
You know what? None of that should matter because Nicolas Cage is in it, and if he's in it, you have to watch it.
I hear
Like,
that. I know I am a
it's
Nicolas
mandatory.
Cage fan, but I was like, man, he really gutted Ghost Rider to me. Oh, you know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say, like, you know how bad your movie has to be, like how poorly executed it has to be to make like Chiwetel Ejiofor seem like he's not good at what he does. Like I've seen that guy like act his ass off on some terrible scripts. You know what I'm saying? And he could not. Like there was not enough there wasn't enough there for him to seem good in this movie, which I was just like, that's crazy.
He was in the Venom one.
Yeah,
He was
That's what I'm
the soldier.
yeah. And it was just, and like honestly, it was just like he might as well not have been there.
He was Mordo in Strange.
Yeah.
Right. That for those that don't know his name, yes, Chiwetel Ejiofor also plays Baron Mordo in the Doctor Strange movies. But yeah, like that fool's great, and man, like he's terrible in this movie, and I just think that it's not. I think it can't be his fault because, man, yeah, it looked like Hardy's having a good time though. I don't know. I guess he
I
getting
mean,
paid.
Yeah, he's getting paid.
Yeah. Anyway, look. Shall we talk about a better movie?
Comic book theater.
All right. Shout out to Tiger Claw Theater.
Yeah, he had a question at the beginning, but we weren't on the topic yet.
Oh, what was Tiger Claw's question?
Tiger Claw in chat says, "What do you think of the new look of the leader? He looks very different than we expected. They didn't go with the gigantic forehead."
Yeah, they did.
You know what though? The pop that came out for the leader had him with like the hair, like the Sinestro head.
He just had a hoodie the whole time, but there's a scene in it where he's like talking, and I don't realize. I thought the bag under his eyes was his eyes because his head looked a little elongated.
Had the bag under his eyes.
I thought his eyes were closed, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah.
So we'll be we're gonna start talking about Captain America: Brave New World. There's gonna be some spoilers ahead for those that haven't seen it. Just FYI. So, you know, we will definitely. You can wait until the banner goes away if you want to fast forward and you can get past that part. But yes, the leader, which I mean, did you all know the leader was going to be in it?
Yes.
I didn't.
Okay, I didn't know either. I didn't know either.
It was like one of the first casting announcements because they were excited because it's the same dude from the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like it'd be well, as the movie as you saw in the movie, it's if you have the leader, like if I see MCU leader, I'm like, they're not gonna do the leader, you know, like, and that's kind of what they did. Like they did in a good way where it's more about his brain power than him like assembling this, you know, gang of monsters to beat the Hulk. So, but it's like a good start for him, even though it's not. But so I just figured it'd be like a cameo or something for like the next Hulk movie or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It becomes apparent pretty early on, like, you know, that's what's happening. But yeah, it was cool to like kind of discover it, I guess, you know, to be blissfully ignorant and be like, oh, I think we're doing a leader story. Like, that's interesting. You know, because it was unexpected for me at least. But yeah.
And me too. I mean, I just thought he was fighting the Red Hulk.
Right. Which allow me to say before I forget, Harrison Ford makes a very handsome Hulk. Like, I was like really kind of taken aback by that. Like, it's like his face looks like it should be Hulk, which I did not know was going to happen.
I'm glad they had him with the mustache for at least one scene.
Yeah.
Listen, and when you see that scene, were you glad that he was only the one scene?
No.
I mean,
I wanted to see the red mustache.
Yeah.
The red mustache. Yeah. So overall, let's start with you, Moses. Overall, like, how'd you feel about the movie, man? What did it meet your expectations? Were you happy with the portrayal of Captain America, and were you satisfied with the story that you ended up getting?
Yeah, my biggest fear was that they were gonna forget that Sam Wilson doesn't have powers, and you know, the upgraded suit and everything kind of helps with that suspension of disbelief stuff. But they also make it a point that he's the one without the powers, you know. So and the fight kind of reflects that a little bit, you know, a little bit of disbelief in there too. But still, it's like he didn't come out clean out of fighting the Hulk, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So that was my biggest fear. So they handled that better than I thought they would. And so I'm happy with it. And then even the story, as we get with these Captain America movies, like even the other ones, they start getting more about, you know, opposing forces and ideology around the superheroes, not just a superhero fight, you know. And I think this had a lot of that. And I think I like this for these Captain America movies in the sense that they're not going to be like they have this one could have had more action, but I'm okay with the way they did it. Like I
Mhm.
did it. And Sam Wilson as Captain America, like Falcon's always been a cool character to me. So I'm like seeing that transition there, and then it here, I enjoy it.
Mhm.
And, I just wish he had an actual Falcon. Like
You don't like the drone? No, the drone Red Wing's not for you.
I want a real Red Wing,
That's fair.
but then
That's
I also
fair.
wanted real wings too.
You don't want mechanical wings. You want
Yeah.
the feathers.
But then he couldn't fight the Hulk. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. That is fair.
Yeah.
Like, would you, if he had,
Like I
Red
like that he
Wing.
looked like Coco Beware back in the day.
if the MCU did let him have like an actual bird,
Yeah.
would you have been okay with it like just being like a super well trained bird, or would you need it to be like how it is in the comics with him like having like the telepathic connection and all that?
I think that's a little too much for the MCU. Like, as much as I liked it in the comics, like it's too much to explain at this point. And even in the beginning, like it's just easier. His like prototypical flight suit, you know, and now another guy has as well. It's like I think it's fine the way it is in the MCU.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
he barely does the Red Wing stuff in the comics now. Anyway, like I think Red Wing's like retired. Like he just lives at home.
Right. I agree. Like you don't see Red Wing much these days. It's funny though because technically, like if I'm remembering right, I think Red Wing and Falcon have a connection, like that psychic connection because of the cosmic cube.
Yeah.
And I mean, shoot, technically Cosmic Cube is already in the MCU, so it's like
it does all sorts of weird things. So it's like it's weird. It's actually weirder in the MCU than it is.
I agree. I agree. Cosmic Cube is way more straightforward in the comics. So okay, Jay, man, let's come to you. Like Moses mentioned that he would have liked to have seen more action, but he was happy with the way they ended up doing it ultimately. How do you feel on the action front of things in regards to the movie, and ultimately how did you come away with it?
Oh, I thought the action was good. Like I had enough.
Okay.
And yeah, ultimately felt pretty good. Like I like the tone, the stoicness of the movie.
How did you like Captain America at this point in his career?
How do I like him in his career so far?
I mean, or just like how do you like this iteration of Captain America? Because I feel like in the past, like you have Falcon, and like in the series, he was like kind of wrestling with the idea of accepting the mantle. And even when he does accept the mantle at the end of the series, he's still pretty green as far as he's not a seasoned Captain America, but at this point in the movie, or when the movie starts, it seems like he's definitely a different kind of Captain America than he was in the show. So I'm just more wondering, how did you feel about this version of Captain America versus?
No, I like it.
Previous.
I like the confidence. Like he knows for the most part that he should be Captain America. Like there's still a little doubt that creeps in, but I like the confidence he has now.
Yeah.
As Cap.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, look, coming to you, Oz, how do you feel about the villains in this movie? I know sometimes people talk about, sometimes they talk about how the MCU doesn't always nail their villains. How do you feel about the villains in Captain America: Brave New World?
Let me go through the list.
Right.
Wait, so Red Hulk, I thought was fine. I wish there would have been a little bit more of him, and I wish there would have been a little bit more mystery to him. Like when Harrison Ford is taking those pills, I guess they're supposed to be heart medicine, but when I saw him do it, I'm like, oh, that's to keep him from becoming the Hulk. So I think that could have been handled a little bit better, but it wasn't bad. And once he's the Hulk, I mean, that action sequence is pretty good. The leader, I think, was okay. I all the villains feel like stuff was cut out, like they were meant to be explored a little bit more, and something got cut out. Like I always felt like something was missing, especially with Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
And the Serpent Society stuff, like that felt like he was there to pass some information and shoot at Captain America a few times.
Right.
So now that makes Luke Cage not MCU now.
Why does it make Luke Cage not MCU?
Because he fought the Serpent Society, and they were just a bunch of gangsters in Harlem.
But was it actually? I mean, it was Serpent, right? Not Serpent Society, technically, right?
This was a Serpent Society.
I think in the movie they called them Serpent, but I think the patch actually said like Serpent Society or something like that.
Oh, does it really?
Originally it was supposed to be Serpent Society.
Right.
So
no, I mean, and I definitely know that those are the characters, but that we're trying to portray. But then Luke Cage was fighting Cottonmouth.
Right. Yeah, he just fought one of them. I don't think it was the whole.
No, not in Sidewinder too.
Did he fight Sidewinder?
Sidewinder or Cobra? One of them. Like it was a couple of them, but yeah, it definitely was focused on Cottonmouth. Yeah. Which is Blade now, or was Blade first.
Right. So I don't know. Like I'm not sure it negates it, but I feel where you're coming from.
Well, there's just like you can't see those people in the same group. Like
it's like,
and then you had Viper in the second Wolverine movie.
That's why they have to get rid of Seth Rollins. I'm like, well, can't have him in charge of that group.
Yeah, it was interesting, the idea of like that being the role they decided to use Giancarlo Esposito for. Like, I don't like it wasn't like he did a bad job or anything, but it definitely feels like, when you have a actor of that caliber, it just kind of feels like, okay, you want to make sure they give him like a weighty kind of role, and it just feels like that wasn't it, to me at least. Like, he did a fine job, but it's like that could have literally been like any random actor, right?
It was.
But I'm saying, do you think Giancarlo Esposito is just a random actor?
No, he was. That part was being played by Seth Rollins from WWE.
Oh no, I'm talking about Sidewinder, who Giancarlo Esposito played. Is what I'm talking about.
Oh, I mean, as far as the character, he came in so late. Like they had already reshot it twice by the time he got introduced, right?
Oh,
the movie was at least done once, and then he was brought in for reshoots. So they added him in at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why they reshot it.
Well, okay.
Like, what could have been so bad?
I mean, I can't say for certain. I know that some of the political stuff that was happening, it seemed like they kind of were like, maybe they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't go down this route. Like I know that there are people that were still like that were saying that they weren't going to go see it because they didn't like that Sabra was in it, which I was just like, how do cats know who Sabra is? Like, right? And I'm just saying, like the role she plays in this movie is so small, and
I gotta imagine how much they cut out.
Well, I think they cut her at the knees because she comes into the door. It's like, who's this little kid over here?
Whose child is this?
Yeah. She's trying to date fucking Winter Soldier.
But and you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to downplay the role, because I feel like the role actually does a
She did a good job
in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And I like that, you know, like
I knew
change
I liked that character and I was excited to see her. Then they kind of changed it up, and I'm like, pussies. Yeah.
They could at least made her a mutant. And I would buy a little bit more of her beating up all the dudes and stuff.
Well,
I mean, she's Red Room. Yeah.
She's still like 4'5".
She's a small widow.
Like even Scarlett Johansson had the taser things to knock people out.
Yeah, but she don't need them because she's small. Her little hands are like pointy too, so it's like a fist stabbing you.
There was no point with me watching the movie that I was like, oh, that shouldn't go that way to me. But that might just be, you know, like, again, like that might be the acting, right? Like she sold me on it, or I'm just like, yeah, like she seemed like she could hurt these people like this.
Everybody acting in this movie is talented. Yes. I can't take any of that away. Any missteps or bad things with this movie is a combination of the writing and probably the tons of reshooting that they've had to do, and how they've probably rearranged the story so many times.
Yeah, like even Sabra's performance, the only thing that takes away from it is really just her stature. Like
it's just
But other than that, like I kind of agree with what I was saying about it too. Like that's what I'm glad I didn't really like know a lot about it going in, because I know those if I would have known what they reshot or changed, I would have been pissed.
Right. So Tiger Claw says, what are your thoughts on Harrison Ford's take on Ross? His take was different, no doubt, but I think he did pretty good. What do you think, Jay? How do you like his take on Ross?
I liked it. Like, I thought he did a good job. Like, I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was glad to see the mustache at least once.
I liked that, like, from a story perspective, how they definitely like had him seeming like he was trying to go into a whole different phase of his life. And so, you know, he's trying to be a different person than he had been in the past, literally, you know? And with that being a part of the story point, that makes like the performance being done by a different person much more palatable, you know, where you know, there's not a point, at least for me, where I was like, oh yeah, like he's acting weird, or he comes across as like, you know, I mean, obviously he's a completely different person than William Hurt, but like, you know, you don't feel like the characters, right, but you don't feel like it's necessarily like an inconsistency because he's trying to do something different. So do you all have any thoughts, Moses or Oz, in regards to Harrison Ford's portrayal?
I was more concerned with like the origin of the Red Hulk. Like, I'm kind of just from like reading a lot of, especially like late '90s Hulk, like where he's like taking dudes out of boot camp and experimenting on them just to try to get and making it's all these abominations and shit, you know, too. Like, so that, and then how he becomes the Red Hulk in the comics too. It's like kind of like I kind of wanted something more closer to that. But the way they handled it here is okay for the movie. But yeah, it's definitely like, yeah, that it doesn't even make sense because like Hulk doesn't do anything in the MCU. So it's like, why would he even try to become a Hulk to fight a Hulk? Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, honestly, I found that was like a really interesting kind of plot point where it's like he's like penance, you know, like he's being punished with the Hulk, and it, you know, it's interesting like I would not have seen that coming. Like if you had asked me, like, how is this going to happen? I never would have predicted that.
Yeah, I like that the way Harrison Ford plays it. And Tire Clock kind of mentions a little bit about it. The dude at this point is on borrowed time. Like these pills are the only thing keeping him alive. His heart's about to go out, and he's
Right.
just trying to do good and really get back in with his daughter, who
Mhm.
I think at this point like hates him or doesn't want anything to do with him.
Right.
But as soon as stuff starts happening, you see a little bit of the old general coming out.
Mhm.
And so I thought that was a really good nuanced performance by Ford.
Right.
I'm glad we got to see the Red She-Hulk.
That we got to see, like, you mean like Betty Ross?
Yeah.
But just the character, not actual.
Still the Red She-Hulk.
Got it. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna touch his hand and get a little blood in her stream, and boom.
Boom. There it is.
They didn't do the like radiation power thing either.
No. Yeah, they did not do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think that they would, but it wouldn't have hurt.
Well, I mean, but it's also that's a product of how he became it too. So it's like like the pills ain't gonna do that.
Right. One thing that I can say that I really liked about this movie was I think they did a really good job of showcasing how Sam Wilson is a different Captain America than Steve Rogers, and not just in regards to necessarily, of course, I mean there's the obvious aspects in the regard, like an African American man being Captain America is going to have a different experience than a white man being Captain America.
He's African American,
right? I know, but I even like the other things, and just like like how his mentality in regards to like how to do the job and how he would like to do the job and represent America is interesting. And then even just like the basics in regards to like the fighting, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, like Sam Wilson's Captain America should fight different than Steve Rogers' Captain America. Not only because of super soldier serum, but also the fact like, hey, I mean, dude can fly. Steve Rogers can't do that, right? And so the fact that they messed around and like showed that was like really cool. I was happy about that. Even though like, it was one of those things where like, I love watching Steve Rogers fight. Like I definitely miss it, but and I'm sure we'll get it again eventually, but it was really cool to see Sam Wilson like do his thing uniquely.
I would have liked to see a little bit more Isaiah Bradley.
That would have been really cool.
That's probably what they cut out. It's like nobody wants to see this old person fight.
I mean, we got a little bit of that, and I was like, damn, that dude.
Yeah.
He's good too. He's another good actor.
I agree. And like look, we go like you only get like the one like little chase scene or whatever, but even in that chase scene it was like that's like little subtle things. Like I love like how my man's trying to get away and he jumps out the window of the White House, and like legit jumps out of a window from like the second or third floor or something like that and lands and heads out, and Sam looks out the window and then takes the stairs, and I'm just like, yeah, man, look, that fool's not a super soldier. He's like, I ain't jumping out that window. Let me go down these steps real quick. Stuff like that, or I'm just like that
should have been his clue. He needs that serum. And you could even make it a plot point, like, well, the president won't give you the serum unless you work for him, and so he's got to go to Wakanda and get the special herb.
The heart-shaped herb. I don't think they just give that away.
And even
Oh,
the
sure
one
we
they
would
have
give it to him.
is synthetic. It doesn't work on everybody.
Yeah, so it could be like he's not like a full super soldier, but at least he's more durable.
Right. But yeah, the fact that he wasn't as durable was awesome. Like, and just I feel like, I mean, that was like he in the show, in the series, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that was where it was the plot point, whether he should take it or not, right? And he decided he didn't want to do that. And they do mention it in the course of the movie as well, where they're just like, where he's I don't remember what exactly it was, but I feel like he made like a offhand reference about
Yeah, he's like, Bucky's full of crap. I need to take this stuff.
yeah, right,
Something like that.
But the fact that
They made Bucky gay.
Wait, what?
They made Bucky gay. See,
Why
Jay's
do
like,
you
what? He's got to go throw up now.
Why do you say that?
Because he told Sam Wilson, "I love you."
That's not gay. That's just fun.
Sure it ain't.
Yeah.
The fact that Captain America didn't say it back is why he goes on a murder spree in Thunderbolts.
It's too funny, man. I'm looking into chat and I see Tiger Claw, and he asked, "What did you think of the new Falcon? How did you all feel about Joaquin Torres's Falcon in this movie? What do you think, Mo?"
I think he should cut the shit and not ask Wakanda for help and ask Namor.
There it is. Go straight to Atlantis.
He's Mexican. Like, he'll help him out.
Right. Yeah. How'd you like him, Oz?
He's fine. I feel bad that Sam Wilson won't give him one of his spare suits. He's got like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just give your boy one of the vibranium suits. What's wrong? He's there in like 1960s technology, practically getting shot out of the sky. Meanwhile, Sam Wilson is like surfboarding on a missile.
That did happen. That did happen. You got any thoughts on Falcon, Jay?
No, he was fine.
Okay, there it is.
How about the adamantium? Like the way they introduced adamantium. I know Tiger Claw asked that earlier, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know if we touched on it.
I'm just happy that they actually referenced the Celestial, because that joint has been there for I don't know how long, and it's like I feel like it did get a mention in something else not that long ago. I guess that was Secret Invasion, right?
Is She-Hulk, yeah.
Yeah. So it gets a mention here and there.
I was hoping they were gonna just forget about that movie altogether.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Earth 615.
I know. Right. It's like, y'all watch that, right? Okay. But I mean, I personally like that they referenced it, and that the idea that like the whole world is talking about it. I thought it made for an interesting plot point in regards to the movie. So that was cool, and hopefully, it'll become more of a sticking point in movies to come.
So do you think the Weapon X program starts now, or are they going to just bring an older Wolverine not older, but a Wolverine that has been Wolverine for a while from a different universe?
With the adamantium already.
Yeah. I personally think like the introduction of X-Men into the MCU, I think, is definitely going to be like a different universe kind of thing. And they might have like, I don't know if they'll have like an actual Weapon X, but they might, there might be some sort of program, something or other that starts in the MCU, but ultimately I think like, the X-Men as we know them are probably going to end up coming from a different universe. and then of course ultimately it'll just all merge together. So it'll become a non-point after Secret Wars.
Like I think this is even just like a reference to adamantium. Like even if you have like you already have a lot of the Weapon X program types here with like the Abomination, the way they try to do the Abomination and other things like that too, the Red Room stuff, and
Mhm.
so it's like they probably already have even characters you might have seen. They just don't have. They're not the mutants or the or they just don't have the adamantium on them. You know, like your probably your like what is it? What's the dude's name? You know, like the Maverick or something. that
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
like
Yeah.
By
Even
the
though
way,
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
if they do like just suddenly from another universe populate this world with a bunch of mutants, like
Mhm.
thousands of mutants, I think that sets up a really good like classic X-Men stuff where they're hated for for what they are and the registration acts and all that. Even though we've already had like the Sokovia Accords, which is kind of the same thing, but
Right.
it'd be a good way to be able to do that plot line again, and it makes sense.
Right.
well, at this point, I don't even want them to do it because they already did it with the scrolls too.
That's
And,
true.
you know, so it's like, and it like at this point, just had them go through that, and it's just like, it's like, oh, our Krakoa got destroyed. Let's go to this planet or this Earth. You know, maybe
Oh,
they're
you want them to do
tolerable.
like the Mars stuff?
Like, but instead of Mars, this universe. You know, like
Oh,
let's just
gotcha.
kick it in this universe, and then they're hated here too.
I forgot about the scrolls. Weren't they like public enemy? Weren't aliens public enemy number one at the end of that?
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. The president at that time was like, anybody born off world is an enemy of the state. But you know, there's a new president now, right?
Yeah,
It's
and they
just about
didn't show who the vice president was, so
right.
like they could put anybody at this point.
Right. So
I vote for
yeah.
Stryker.
Yeah. And what I was gonna say before is I think technically I don't think Maverick was Weapon X. I don't think.
He was part of that other
In that
program
program.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was on that team with Wolverine and
yeah.
Sabretooth. Yeah. So
Tiger Claw wants to see after Avengers Secret Wars, he wants them to do Avengers versus X-Men.
I mean, I would definitely say we should wait for an Avengers versus X-Men. Like there'll be some you know, I'm sure there's gonna be as soon as the X-Men get
They
there.
couldn't even do Avengers versus Skrulls. Like you can't do, you know, like, how are they gonna do that?
I mean
I don't even know who
do
the
it.
Avengers are at this
They couldn't
point.
even do Civil War.
They did Civil War.
Nah, not the same.
You didn't like Captain America Civil War, Mo?
I enjoyed it, but it's not. It's definitely a watered down version of Civil War, and
There's
it's not.
characters, yes. That's
So
true.
it's, but again, like they couldn't do it. So how they gonna do like what the, you know?
Lord knows as soon as we get enough, like, you know, as soon as we get 4 or 5 X-Men, at some point those people are gonna probably end up fighting Avengers, and so you'll get like the team fight just because, you know. But as far as like a formal AVX, like I don't even know like what a good reason for those groups to be fighting would be. And yeah.
Whoa.
Like, balloon just
That was the UFO that was making the noise earlier.
So, but anyway,
It's the leftover from Heck's birthday. Yeah.
That's it for Tiger Claw. And so, how did you all feel about the after credit scene type stuff? Was that worthwhile at all in your opinions? What do you think?
Was there 2 or 1?
There's just the one. As far as I know, there was just the one.
Yeah, I just saw the one.
Oh, okay.
And I liked it.
Okay, cool.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. It's
just
like
tell us there's a multiverse. Like I would have liked it 5 years ago when the whole thing started.
Right, but it's also telling you that you're gonna have to defend this Earth from that one. Like it's more of a convergence situation, not
Yeah.
or imploding into each other, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
We're
definitely
gonna have a crisis.
right. Right. Now it's definitely referencing that, the incursions or whatnot. So yeah, but I know for like I do wonder how that comes across to folks that, if you don't know the lore of it already from the comics, like does that intrigue you enough? Does it feel, or do you just feel like, like, look, Oz, the stuff and still kind of were like, right? So I can imagine like your standard audience goer maybe feeling like, okay, whatever.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Doom and how they do all that, and I know Fantastic Four is going to do multiversal stuff too. So I'm looking forward to it. But the post-credit scene didn't like get me excited. But that's just because there's been so much, multiversal stuff up to this point already.
I'm dreading all the Doom stuff. Because
why?
Because I think that's probably what they're probably gonna do is they're probably gonna do a Squadron Supreme and that'll be it.
A Squadron Supreme.
And it'll be like the actors that were playing the evil versions of the so you got like Captain Hydra and Tony Stark is Doom, or
I heard what's his face was coming back for one of the Doom movies.
Was it who Hemsworth?
Evans.
Yeah. There's the thing. It's supposed to be Hydra, Captain Hydra, and that's what I'm saying. Like you're getting those people and doing the evil versions of them, and it's like it'd be like a lazy way to do like Squadron Supreme. Yeah.
Okay. As opposed to like legit just doing like the real Squadron Supreme.
Right. Hire all the people from the DC that got fired and put them in make them the Squadron Supreme. Cool. Yeah.
That would be super cool. Yeah. Like Henry Cavill doesn't quite look like Hyperion, but
neither does a dude playing the Sentry that's going to be coming out in yeah.
I mean, Cavill doesn't look like Wolverine, but people still went nuts over that.
But he looked good as Wolverine.
he's a big buff dude. He looks good. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Again, but that's what Sentry is supposed to look like too. Instead, he looks like the middle sister from fucking Full House.
Well, but that's what Bob looks like at a particular point. Like, like
Bob on this cock, bitch.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh my god. Anyway. All right. Hey, you guys got anything else you want to say about Captain America Brave New World before we give it a rating? All right, let's do it. Jay, what would you rate Captain America Brave New World?
I would give it a 5 out of 5. I really had a good time watching it.
Okay, cool. Oz, how about you? What would you rate Captain America Brave New World?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. It's worth watching. If you can stream it, all the better.
Okay.
But okay. I'm not gonna say I loved it. It was entertaining.
Gotcha. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Captain America Brave New World?
I would give it about a 4. I did enjoy the story, and I didn't since I didn't know about reshoots and stuff, I didn't notice the disjointedness, if any. But I did like the concepts in it, and it could have been a little better. The green screen after the Hulk fight looked terrible, but that was that was just because they're trying to like make it look like from the Hulk's perspective. Yeah, so it's like, why is the floor behind his back? Like, it's just because it's a green screen. It's kind of I think they just didn't light it right or angle it right or something. There should have been like a horizon line behind them to like show that it's like a world behind them, not just cracked and burned concrete. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I personally I would give it a 4. I liked it a lot, honestly. I thought it was a nice cohesive flick. At the end of the day, I just think that there were like, you know, some like some of the choices that were made. None of them were terrible. It's just that, you know, you maybe could have used like some of the actors in better roles, and you know, like I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, for me, it's like what it boils down to is it's a good MCU movie. It wasn't great, and so it's like, you know, and it would be nice if we could have like another great one sooner than later. I really enjoyed. Not only did I enjoy Mackie, but I enjoyed Ford and their dynamic together. Like, you know, they really carried the movie. And, you know, props to them for not making Joaquin Torres a bird person, because you never know. So, yeah, but I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Is he a bird person in the comics?
He is.
He could have been Blackwing.
Blackwing?
Yeah, he would have been Brown Wing.
Was he like a bird person, like beak? Or
Kinda. Like he has like actual wings.
Okay. See, why didn't they do that?
Because that's a bad idea. Like, listen, there's a reason why you don't see like Joaquin Torres too much in the comics either. It's just like, it's like, I don't know that we needed a new Falcon, but I get it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
because he's got wings like Angel, but they like the feathers like come out of his whole arm. They're not on his back.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have. Right.
Yeah.
And then does he have something in his eyes, or is that like his eyes just like they look like goggles? But I don't think.
His eyes are weird too. Like,
so the card is more of a card for like the movie then, huh? Or
yeah, the card that came out is closer to the movie than like the actual. Even though it's not a bad representation of what he looks like in the comic either. Like, it's not so much that they look that different. It's just that how that, like, the silhouettes are the same or very similar. It's just that how that silhouette is represented in actuality. It is the big deal, because like, you know, like the way they use the wings in the movie, he uses his wings in that same way in the comic, but they're attached to his arm though, you know.
Yeah, that looks weird. I don't like it.
It's better like the way that they did it. So, all right, you guys ready to talk about some comics?
Comic book
review.
Comic book
like
review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right. So the latest event happening in Marvel Comics, One World Under Doom. And this book it's Ryan North doing the writing. RB Silva's doing the art. And this is basically the story of Dr. Doom having recently getting the powers of the Sorcerer Supreme, making his move to, from his perspective, save the world. And as we all know, Doom isn't the kind of guy that believes in a collaborative effort, especially with him being so capable and so powerful himself. And he's like, I'll just do it alone because that's the best way to save the world. So, what did you all think about this? Let's start with you, Jay. How did you like One World Under Doom?
I like the story. I thought the story was good.
Mm-hmm.
The art was fine for the most part. A couple of times I couldn't tell who was saying what.
Okay. Did you feel like it was was it like the word bubbles weren't doing their job, or was it more like you couldn't?
The word bubbles and the silhouettes, like there were a lot of panels where you would just get silhouettes of people, and like I wasn't sure whose silhouette that was.
Got it.
Speaking. But I do like the story and I like the writing.
Okay.
And the art, when it's not silhouettes, is pretty good.
Got it. Okay. How about you, Mo? What were your impressions of One World Under Doom?
I liked it and kind of wanted to ask Jay how he thought of like maybe not the silhouette part, but when he's riding a Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
When I turned that page, I was like, "Holy fuck!" And just reading everything that's happening in it it was really cool. I really liked it a lot, and I like how he played the Avengers and Hydra. Yeah. And it's even like his reasoning for lying about it and manipulating him still came with him on top. And just like that last page where the lady's like, and Doom will save us all. Like, fucking loved it. And yeah, can't wait to get Doom Academy.
I know, right? Yeah. How about you, Oz? What did you think about One World Under Doom?
Liked it for the most part. I have questions though.
Yeah. What questions do you have?
When you become the Sorcerer Supreme, do you now get new powers, or was he already that powerful?
No, I mean they're like, the Sorcerer Supreme is definitely like a mantle, and it does
he literally gets a mantle.
Right. It literally does allow for you to tap into like parts of magic that you wouldn't be able to tap into beforehand.
Okay, so he does gain more power from that.
You get first dibs on the chaos.
And my second question, did Sue Storm always have Wonder Woman's jet?
Listen, I'm not a avid Fantastic Four reader, so I can't speak to if this has happened before, but I was here looking at it myself like, wait, what? And I had the same questions that Spider-Man did, where I was just like, why are we flying in a jet made out of a force field when we could have just made a real jet invisible?
I guess technically it is like a lantern construct.
Yeah,
that's what she did. Yeah. But you've seen all these planes dropping out of the sky lately. That one might be safer.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't want her to get distracted and we drop out the sky.
Yeah.
But she is Invisible Woman, right? Like she knows what she's doing. She's very capable, but I'm like half of us can fly, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like the same thing I had with where I hated the Flash riding a motorcycle in Young Justice.
right.
And I guess the T-Rex Doom, that wasn't Devil Dinosaur then. That's something else. Because they give you the issue where he gets it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm assuming again, because I have been following, but yeah, I was just like that.
It's an awesome image. I was just trying to figure out how we got it.
Yeah, it's so cool. I agree. And it's crazy that like honestly it's one of those things where riding a T-Rex like on its own would be enough, you know? But the fact that it's like all like armored up like Doom, it's like, in fact, like I gotta put the image into chat or into the.
Mo had it up earlier. I think it was Mo.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, good. Yeah, but that image is crazy.
You want me to put it up again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because I'm just like the fact that it's kitted out like with the Doom mask,
and his face is fucked up under it too. Like
right, right, and it's still a T-Rex. I'm just like, that's very cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like a version of him that's a dinosaur, like they had the Spider-Man one too.
Right, that is true. But that it's crazy where it's like, you know, just the idea of like where like somebody had to like sew a T-Rex like tunic.
I might need to read that book. Fantastic Four 13 is what they give us.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting because I mean the way that like Doom, of course, has always been Doom. Like this characterization and this like Doom feeling this way about trying to make things right in the world and him feeling like he's the only guy that can do it. That's classic Doom, and he's been that way for years and years and years. But it is interesting, like the idea of how that parallels with like our current political climate in America and the idea of like a strong man savior type. And I just found that pretty interesting because I was just like the idea that you have Doom saying these things and it's just like, no, I mean, that's who Dr. Doom is.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are people that, you know, you hear those kinds of things kind of in like the real world now from our leaders and from people that want to follow them. So I'm just like, wow, like that was wild to me because it's like
I'm just happy he didn't like Nazis.
Right, exactly. There it is. Doom 2 has a line, right?
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like the Doom like playing the heroes, of course, like you mentioned too, like that's like again just feels like a classic kind of Doom type of move to make. And it's like, okay, they're really selling the idea that Doom might actually like win the people over in the same way how the people in Latveria, like they're like, yeah, we love this guy. He takes care of us. So now, Jay, you mentioned the art and how it was like only like so for you. I know for me, like I'm a big fan of RB Silva, and so like I was really digging the art. But you know, I can definitely understand where you might be coming from. Were there any of the images for you that did stand out in regards to like you thought were actually good, Jay?
No, I thought it was good except for the silhouettes.
Okay, so just the silhouettes. Gotcha.
Yeah, just when I couldn't tell who was who.
How did you all feel about the inclusion of Squirrel Girl?
I like Squirrel Girl.
I do know you do.
I mean, I know one of her books is the tie-in one, right? So they kind of had to do it.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the case. I think um North writes the Squirrel Girl book too, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like, okay, like, you know, look, he's writing the event, so I'm not mad at him for including, you know, like making the person that you are writing a part of the event that you're going to write too, because, like, right, you want your book to be relevant and get more readers and all that kind of stuff as well. So
She doesn't really do anything though.
Right.
Yeah.
In this book.
Yeah, no, I agree.
She's there,
Like,
and I'm glad she's there, but yeah, I don't see her doing anything.
It's just interesting, like how
she just
out
talks
of place
about the
it feels.
T-Rex, right?
Right. Even though I mean, I'll say this though, Squirrel Girl may have like one of the top records in beating like Doom.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Like Squirrel Girl beats Doom often. So it's
Squirrel
like,
Girl beats everybody.
that's true.
Like, don't sleep on Squirrel Girl.
Yeah. Yeah, look, she's good in Rivals too. So, but yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny because I was sitting here like, and then I was looking and I was like, who is that person that because I like in you know how in the beginning of the books they'll have like the rundown of all the people, and one of them was Nancy Whitehead, and I was like, who is Nancy Whitehead? And it wasn't until I was like reading and saw her standing next to Squirrel Girl that I was like, oh, that's the roommate. Like, which I'm just like, I don't know why the roommate's there. Like, because I wasn't reading Squirrel Girl, but I'm just like, okay. Like,
yeah, it bugged me that the Fantastic Four section had 5 people. I'm like, does Alicia Masters have powers now, or is she the new Daredevil?
I don't know that. I don't know that she does. She's definitely not the new Daredevil because that's Elektra still, right? So, but yeah. So, but no, like I will say that I felt like this was like a good issue 1. Like it was a nice setup for what's to come. Now, what I will say is like I'm kind of like this is like one of these event books where I'm kind of like, okay, like I don't know where this is gonna go from here necessarily. You know, like we got like the setup and the, you know, Doom kind of like the outmaneuvering of you know the heroes and, you know, showing that he is seemingly like has the backing of the world leaders. But I'm like, okay, if the heroes are gonna try to fight against Doom at this point, it's like then they kind of become the bad guys, right? Technically.
I mean, that's kind of how he made them look at the end of this book.
Right.
I mean, we know that they're all probably Doom bots, but you know, regular people just see Avengers making stuff worse.
Right.
It's a 9-issue story.
Yeah.
On top of all the other tie-ins
yeah.
and all that.
Right. Yeah, and I just like I don't know where this is gonna go exactly. Like, I mean, I'm assuming it's probably have to culminate in somehow like Dr. Doom like not being the Sorcerer Supreme anymore, but that could be a you know, a wrong assumption, I guess.
Also, he said he killed Baron Zemo and Red Skull, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say that.
I mean,
Yeah.
who else has he killed? Like that could have a huge impact on the whole Marvel universe.
Right. Right. And, you know, I mean, obviously they could come back, but it would be wild, like, you know. And I wonder if they're going to show us that. Like, that would be interesting if there's a book. Like, I don't know if that would happen in like a Fantastic Four tie-in or whatnot, but you know, I would definitely like to see that. So, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes, because I know for me, like, I have no idea where we're going to take this book, and 9 issues feels like it's too many to me. But like, I would have definitely did 6 max. I think it would have been okay at 5. But
Oh
you know,
man, there's
again,
a Red Hulk book now.
it just launched, I think.
There's always one or another.
It's a tie-in to this event.
Right.
I just saw. I was looking at the all the tie-ins. It's a lot, man. I don't know how you're gonna keep up with all this.
Oh, look, I won't.
I'm just. I'll do my best, but I don't know if I can read them all. Like,
right.
Because then you have like new stuff like Doom's Division. Like that's probably a one shot.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange
That
of
one-
Asgard.
The Doom's Division, I'm actually kind of interested in. I might try to pick that one up, but more likely than not, I'll probably just read like the books that I was reading anyway. Yeah,
those are going to tie in too, right?
Hmm?
Those are going to tie in anyway. Like if you're reading Amazing Spider-Man, it's going to tie into
right.
So
yeah,
Are you guys reading Knicks, or is it New York X or
NYX?
Oh, NYX. Yeah, I'm reading NYX.
I'm not.
Yeah. And NYX is one of the few books that actually like pretends like Krakoa happened.
Not well, yeah. Magic does that too.
See, I haven't read Magic yet, so that's cool.
I almost picked it up because the cover was so good looking.
Every cover is a Scott Campbell cover.
Like I was walking by, like, damn,
Yeah.
I don't want to read it, but I want that cover.
No, it's a good story. She's fighting almost like a kind of like a John Constantine story. Is fighting a demon trying to come in, and
Fuck, now I have to get it next week.
Yeah. Like issue 1 is really good, and it starts off with like talking about like the fuck like Krakoa happened, and she's going on transition too because she's no longer Queen of Limbo. So
yeah,
yeah,
she gave that to Madeline Pryor.
Yeah, from Dark Web.
right, from Dark Web fame.
Yeah,
right.
Chasm has a book now too.
Oh, jeez! Wow. Okay. All right. Look, we should wrap up this review for One World Under Doom. So, anybody got anything else they want to say before we do some ratings? Okay, Jay, what would you give One World Under Doom #1?
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay, cool. Oz, how about you? One World Under Doom #1.
I'm probably gonna go with the 5, especially for #1. It's a great introduction to a new story. I probably would have done 4 until the dinosaur scene, and then that was just like, okay, all right, I'm in.
There it is. Mos Magnum, what would you rate One World Under Doom?
I love how that scene is drawn because it's the hands, so it's like the perspective of the dude that he's about to kill, and then that gets mirrored again, or from the opposite side when he's saving the lady, and you see Doom's hands. So those two together, like I guess goosebumps just analyzing it. So yeah, for me it's a 5 out of 5, man.
Yeah, I think I would give it a 4.5. I'm trying to think of what exactly I want to have happen to take it over the top. It's like, it's a great first issue, and there's nothing particularly wrong with it. I just more so than anything, just I'm not quite sure. Like, I don't have any idea where it's going to be going next, and I don't know if that should be like normally that's not a knock, but at the same time, with 9 issues to come too, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Like, if I just don't want it to like fall off any. So, but no, it's great. Like, the art was beautiful to me, and the writing is good. I mean, also, I guess there's like, it feels like there are like random folks in the mix too, where I'm like, okay, I get it, but still, I'm just like, we don't necessarily need Brain Drain, even though I know that's Squirrel Girl's buddy now, but okay. It's like they can stay home. So yeah, I'm gonna give it 4.5 though. It's great. It's a great start, and I think it's gonna be fun. So
I'm gonna read all of them.
There it is.
I was just gonna read Amazing Spider-Man 69.
Yeah, I think, but too, like, I know, like, sometimes Spider-Man especially will sometimes it'll cross the tie-ins will come into the actual issue.
That's
but
what's
sometimes.
happening.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Yeah,
what's
so
happening?
70 is a tie-in.
Oh,
69
okay.
is also, that's why
Is
I
it?
said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna say sometimes Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, because they come out
X-Men,
2 a month. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got
gotcha.
69 and 70.
Sometimes they'll do like the tie-in issues, but like as a separate like mini series or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all turns out, and it definitely seems like they're going all in on this. So I don't know if this is like them trying to bring more light onto Doom before we get to Avengers Doomsday. But
No.
No, we're not getting Avengers Doomsday till like 26, and this will be
Not
over
only
by the end
that,
of this
but
year.
this will set up a whole disappointment when you see Robert Downey Jr. under the mask.
That's funny. You don't feel like he'll be able to do a decent Doom?
Everybody's excited just because he's back, not because he's playing Doom. Like, that should tell you, like, he outgrew like the gravitas of what Doom needs to be on screen. Same thing how we kind of with like Pedro Pascal and Reed Richards, where he kind of doesn't have the like not like just this little heaviness that he has just from being so smart that he kind of like separates you from that person.
Right.
Just the way he looks at things, like he's like looking at you, but he's looking through you at like the molecules, or something,
Right.
So it's like so, and I don't think everybody expects him to be in a big metal suit and be charming. And that's not what Doom does. Doom is charming, but only because he commands the nation that he rules to believe he's charming. You are thankful for his charm.
Right.
Doom is
Right.
divine,
Yeah.
But it's like, I think a better actor, or somebody that can do that better would be like a Javier Bardem, but I keep saying him for everything too. So who knows?
You're not wrong though. He would be good as Doom.
Like, you need somebody that you could like perform through the mask,
Right.
And I think I don't think. I mean, how many scenes do we have without a mask for Tony Stark? So he can't act through the mask, Like, there's
Right.
always excuses for the mask to break or
Right.
the inside shot, the heads up
Yeah.
display shot, Like,
How wild would it be if they do that for Doom?
That's gonna be annoying
I
if he
would
takes
hate it.
if he keeps taking off that mask.
yeah,
That's not my Doom.
It's gonna ruin that Conan comic.
Which Conan comic?
There's a Conan comic where Conan has dinner with Doom,
Oh.
and he says something like,
He asked Doom why he covers his face.
right, and then he
And-
tells him, and he's like, a true man is not so vain. And then so then Doom takes off his mask and they eat dinner with his ugly face showing.
Do they show it, or it just?
I think they did. Yeah, I forgot what issue it was. I have it here somewhere. It's one of the Savage Sword of Conan. Is it Savage or Conan and the Avengers. One of those. I think I
Okay,
might have
yeah.
posted it on our Instagram, but
Yeah,
that must have been
Yeah.
a while ago.
could have been Savage Avengers.
I think you did because I remember seeing it like really recently.
Yeah, so I might have posted. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, anything else that we want to talk about before we get out of here?
Oh, I wanted to correct you about and correct
Uh-oh.
myself too about Luke Cage earlier when
Oh.
he fought Cottonmouth. We
Mhm.
also fought Diamondback and Bushmaster.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so that's like what like
Yeah, it's half of the Serpent Society.
well, depends on how far you go, but yeah, it could be either a quarter of it at least. You know. 'Cause,
Yeah, you're right. Because you're right. There's a lot of Serpent
The
Society
females, yeah.
members,
Like, I
aren't
think,
there?
I think I remember looking at the Marvel Who's Who, and it's
Right.
like, and they folded out because there's like 30 of them. Like,
Yeah, it's a lot
from,
of Serpent.
you know, and there's like 3 different like was it Copperheads?
Iterations.
You know,
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
so I guess it could work. They could be, you know, and like Bushmaster is like the dude that was like a guerrilla or mercenary too. So it's like, so it could work that they were all kind of trained like that a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yeah.
allow it. I do want Mike Coulter back as Luke Cage.
That'd be cool.
I want that
Like,
series
yeah,
to come back. Like, I want
it was good.
I want Disney to ruin it.
Like,
They
they're gonna
are
be
they are thinking about bringing back some of the Defenders, and I'm pretty sure Iron Fist isn't one of them. So it's a pretty good shot.
I mean, I definitely want Hellcat. Hellcat's the only real Defender in there,
right.
and Moondragon.
Moondragon.
Yeah,
Wow.
Moondragon
That's
came
cool.
out in the show. He was a black guy, but yeah.
There it is. Okay. All right. Well, shoot. Let's do some final thoughts. Jay, give me some final thoughts, buddy.
No, I got nothing.
What? Okay. Hold on. Let me turn the music down a little bit. Oh, there you go. Thank you, friend. All right. Oscorp, final thoughts.
They're back.
Yeah.
Go
Is
get
that
it.
a Green Lantern Corps?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, shiny.
Ooh,
Shiny.
I didn't see that one.
Is that Kyle
Cool.
Rayner behind her? Behind Jessica
Yeah.
Jones? Nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice cover.
The white
Yeah,
one,
you can't
yeah.
see it here, but it's shiny.
No, you can.
It's
The lights catch it.
Serdi.
The
Yeah,
lights
it's
catch
nice.
it really well. The white cover is nice too, though.
Well, the white cover is what I'm taking to Comic-Con to get something drawn on it.
It's the superior cover.
It's the superior cover.
It always.
I
is.
actually bought it too. The Green Lantern Corps.
Nice.
Are you actually gonna
Most
read it, or you just want the white cover?
I'm gonna read the digital version, like, but I did want the white cover. But I knew that it came out. I'm like, oh, this is gonna, especially with what we've been talking about, the Green Lantern books. I'm like, I think this is gonna be a little more of something that I'm gonna enjoy, more traditional. So I gotta give it a shot. You know.
We'll see. There's a lot of names on that cover. There's
Yeah.
like 5 names on it. That's usually not good.
Yeah, but you know, we'll see. The only names I want to see is Grant Morris and
Be funny. Los Manley, give us some final thoughts, man.
Hey, get your booty hole checked out. You'll thank me in the long run. And then, subscribe, like, hit the bell, and join us everywhere else too.
There it is. Yeah. Look, thank you for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Until then, we are the Fantastic Forum. Good night.